our surprise subject doesn't know we've set up this press conference. And now that you know who it is, you also know she's never at a loss for words. But I have a feeling that when she hears what I'm about to ask her, she's going to be speechless.
Thank you. Ralph Edwards, this is your life. Is it true you were born on December 25th in Houston, Texas, to Herbie and Mary Mandrell? And is it true that you demonstrated the pedal steel guitar at age 11 at a 1960 Chicago music trade show? Is that a fact? Because tonight, with the help of your booking agent, Joanne Barry, who helped get you here, Barbara Mandrell, country girl, city girl, world-class girl, this is your life.
Skyscrapers and neon lights. Now I can fly my dreams around the world. But I'll always be a country girl.
And now here they are, Ralph Edwards with our This Is Your Life guest of honor, Barbara Mandrell.
You were as if you were frozen when I said this is your life.
The whole time I kept thinking, why are you here? You know, why?
And I kept saying, gee, that's Barbara Mandrell. That's mine. Boy, I love it. Let's see how it all began. You're born on December 25th, and what a Christmas present you are to your parents, Herbie and Mary Mandrell. Both your parents are very musical, and that gift is nurtured in you. Now, watch this. Music is, of course, now a way of life for you. At age 10, your parents are right behind you with support and encouragement. In fact, here they are, your guiding lights, two people who've always been there for you. Here for us tonight, your parents, Herbie and Mary Mandrell. Here they are. Come on, Papa.
You are always here for me to share the laughter and the pain, giving me the pain.
Well, Mr. Mandrell, Herbie, when Barbara's very young, you move your family from Texas to Southern California for work there in an amplifier and instrument company. Well, Ms. Mandrell, Mary, what happened when you and your husband here took Barbara, age 11 then, to Chicago to a music trade show?
Well, she went there to demonstrate the pedal steel guitar, and she stole the show. And she really, seriously, she really impressed everyone that saw her.
Especially my good friend, King of the Strings, Joe Maphis, who thought she was remarkable.
Remarkable. That's exactly what Joe said about Barbara.
And here she is, your dear friend, who with her late husband, Joe Maphis, gave you your first job, Barbara. All the way from Nashville, Rose Lee Maphis. After discovering Barbara in Chicago, you and your husband, Joe, you take little Barbara to Las Vegas and include her in your review starring Tex Ritter, little Jimmy Dickens, and Merle Travis at the Showboat Hotel. Now, Joe nicknamed you the sweetheart of the steel guitar. Well, thank you, Herbie. And Mary Mandrell and Rose Lee Maphis. Three people, Barbara, who's always been behind you, as they will be tonight.
I tried to call Mom and Dad today, but they were out.
I wonder where they were, huh? Thank you very much. But at the ripe old age of 11, Barbara Mandrell, you're on the way to the big time. Following your show business debut in Las Vegas, you appear as a regular on a show called Town Hall Party. A town hall party opens a few doors for you, and you begin to learn some of the tricks of the trade from quite a few pros, such as Johnny Cash, George Jones, and Patsy Cline.
I gave Barbara her first national TV spot on the old 5-Star Jubilee.
Here he is, cowboy star Rex Allen.
I taught her how to sell a song when we all played Camp Pendleton Marine Base.
Barbara, you ought to know this man. You keep a spare bedroom for him and his wife, Dearest, to use whenever they come to Nashville. Eddie Dean.
I tried to teach her to play fiddle.
A violin's best friend, and one of yours, too, Gordon Terry.
I taught her how to play the double neck guitar.
Here he is, a rare guy who plays a rare instrument, your friend, Brian Longbeck. Barbara, look what your show's done already. Right in front of your eyes, we formed a new band, huh? Thank you, Rex Allen, Eddie Dean, Gordon Terry, and Brian Longbeck. Thank you. Touring with the professionals, Barbara, rubs off on you. You soon realize that to make it to the top, the next instrument you need to master is your voice. And you do.
Hi, Barbara. I had the pleasure of playing guitar on your first record. Queen for...
He may have been in the background then, but today the spotlight always shines on Glenn Campbell. How did Barbara look back then, eh?
You know, she came in the studio, and I thought she was about 8 years old. But she was 16. You know, I didn't know she was going to become the queen of country music. I thought she was going to be the next Shirley Temple or something like that.
Well, thank you, Glenn Campbell, for coming here and helping make Barbara one queen for a night.
Queen
really.
for you. I'll see you in a minute.
Thank you, Glenn Campbell. Well, Barbara, here you are making records with Glenn Campbell, going on tour with Johnny Cash, but meanwhile, back home at Oceanside High, you're just another co-ed and have to audition for the choir like everyone else.
Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine.
That was your first voice lesson for the Oceanside High School Choir. And here's the man who recorded it, your choir master, Mr. Ray Lamson. Here he is. And your best friend from the choir, Barbara?
Carrie Malloy, Italian.
You said it correctly. Here she is. On the surface, Barbara, you appear to lead the life of an average teenager. You're a football princess at school. You're looking out for your younger sisters, Louise and Erlene. You play in the school band, and you go to sock hops. But how many other teenagers win beauty pageants, perform for thousands of soldiers on the weekends, and are married 2 weeks before graduation from high school?
I had to play hard to get to win her over.
And win he did. Now, you've been married to him for over 20 years. Here he is, Ken Dudney. Ken, the husband. Time. All right. Now, Ken, you meet Barbara when she's 14 and you're 21. How did you meet?
Well, her dad hired me to be in a band, to play the drums for him. I jokingly say they hunted for 4 months to look for a good drummer, and they finally gave up and hired me, but...
I've been gone from home now a few weeks, and I'm really homesick right now, and you're bringing it all to me. I'm just...
You don't mind if we move in with you here, do you? I mean, thank you, Ken Dudney. Thank you.
I'm so glad to see you.
Well, your thoughts of show business, Barbara, take a back seat to being Mrs. Ken Dudney, the perfect Navy wife. You go to live on a naval base in Washington State and later visit Ken while he's stationed overseas in the Mediterranean. Your parents now move to West Tennessee, where your father starts a construction business. And then one night in Nashville with your dad, Irby, you attend the Grand Ole Opry. Barbara, what were you thinking that night up there in the balcony of the old Ryman Theater?
That I could do that.
Mm-hmm. What was on stage you could
I
do?
thought I can do that.
You ask your father to take a risk and manage it. It becomes a turning point that July evening at the Grand Ole Opry. Wonder who that is. Oh, she was there that night, and she's always been there for you, your longtime friend, Mrs. Henry Cannon, known to us all as Minnie Pearl. Hey, Minnie, what about that night Barbara and Irby were at the Opry? What about all that?
I'll tell you, it wasn't long before she became not a member of the audience, but a member of the cast, and she was the youngest member.
Yeah, and as the youngest member, did Barbara come to you for any advice?
No, I never gave her any advice, but I did say one thing that she remembers, and that was what Judge Hayes said to me the night in 1940 when I came on the Opry. He said, "Love them, honey, and they'll love you right back." Isn't that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you've done, you little rat tail.
Minnie Pearl, God love you. The Grand Ole Opry days, you girls must have had some laughs in those dressing rooms at the old Ryman Auditorium there.
Dressing rooms? We didn't have any dressing rooms.
Jeannie.
We changed in the ladies' room.
Here they are.
There they are.
Your roommates from the restroom, Connie Smith, Jeannie Pruitt, and Dottie West.
I was listening to the Opry.
Now, look, let me ask you something. Did you girls really all change in the ladies' room?
It's the honest truth. My territory was a sink. And I had dibs on the windowsill.
I'm not even going to mention where my dressing table was.
Well, I was in the dressing room, too.
My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, her wigs used to decorate the radiator in the ladies' room there. Dolly Parton. Well, are things better now, Dolly?
But now that I got my own show, I got my own dressing room. Cut.
Thank you, Dolly.
We just wanted to take a minute just to congratulate you, Barbara, on This Is Your Life. I just hope when I get to be your age, they'll do mine, too. She knows I'm kidding. I love you.
Thank you, Dolly Parton.
I was country when country wasn't cool.
Well, This Is Your Life, Barbara Mandrell. And it continues with a break you've been working toward all these years, a hit single, I've Been Loving You Too Long. Unveiling a blue-eyed soul style that rewards you with instant radio play across the nation. A year later, your first child, Matthew, is born. And your career is taking off. You're now under contract and the hits start coming. And your family is growing. Your second child, a daughter, Jamie, is born. By now, you've been on the road for 20 years. You've made more than a dozen albums. You've played audiences from Nashville to Vietnam. You've paid a lot of dues, but your goal is always to reach a little bit higher and to find that wider audience there's only one way: television.
There ought to be a law. Kind of embarrassed, but I...
Where many other variety shows fail, your show succeeds. The very popular Barbara Mandrell Show.
The Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters. Times like these, when it's easy to be down, you're my inspiration, you're my solid ground. In times like these,
Now, I know you three are very close. I say soon it's going to be four of
Real
you.
soon.
Yeah, congratulations.
Barbara, I want to tell you, no, we're sisters by chance, but we're friends by choice.
Yes, and tonight is so special that I want you to know I've been real busy backstage reciting because I wrote a poem especially for you, and I'd like to share it with everyone.
And I did hear it, and it's great. It's just like you. It's short and to the point.
Her beauty's a sight to behold. She's brilliantly charming and bold, big-hearted and giving.
But with her, there's no living unless you do just what you're told.
Thank you very much. Arlene and Louise, you and Barbara will always be the sweethearts of Saturday night.
And caress one another and kiss. Oh, Barbara, what are you doing? Barbara, it's Sybil. Barbara, please, come on. What? You said you loved me.
Barbara. Barbara. Week after week, you and your sisters entertain millions with your singing, dancing, and comedy.
But I was the only one who got to kiss her.
Here he is, the star of Dallas, Patrick Duffy. So you had a love scene with Barbara on her show, Patrick.
Yes, I did. Shortest thing I ever kissed. Didn't need a dog collar. Cutest little thing.
Thank you, Patrick, very much. Join Barbara's past. Barbara's husband, Ken, is kind of looking for you there.
All in good fun,
yes,
Ken.
Thank you very much. Well, Barbara, no matter how many awards you win, no matter how many records you sell, no matter how many television shows you make, what really matters to you, and you've said it yourself, is your love of God and your love of family. And these values are truly tested on September 11th, 1984, when tragedy strikes. Your car is hit head-on not far from your home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. You and your children, Matthew and Jamie, are rushed to the hospital emergency room.
Mom, we're sure glad you made us put on our seatbelts that night.
And we're glad you put yours on, too.
I'm proud that I can say on national television that because you wore your seatbelts, you, Barbara Mandrell, and your children, Matthew and Jamie, are here tonight. Well, fortunately, Matthew here and Jamie are spared any major injury, but you, Barbara, are seriously hurt and in a coma.
Newt called me and said we need an orthopedic surgeon on ready because Barbara might have some broken bones.
Your physicians and your good friends, Dr. Newt Lovern and orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Jones. Ken, you come on down here, would you please? I'm sure these were days when you and Barbara wondered whether your life would ever be back to normal. Barbara, after you get out of the hospital, how do you and Ken deal with your recuperation?
I just imposed on him for everything.
Out of this dark period comes new light and life. Almost a year to the day after the accident, Barbara, a new baby is born to you and Ken, symbolizing rebirth in its purest form.
Well, it truly was, because we were wanting another baby when the accident happened, and...
Dr. Lovren, you were there for the birth of Nathaniel. In fact, you were there for the birth of all 3 children.
That's right.
Now, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. How did Barbara originally find you?
Well, you all won't believe this, but she got my name out of the Yellow Pages.
And here's the latest Dudney delivery, Nathaniel Mandrell Dudney, with your assistant and your good friend, Kathy Brown.
He goes to bed each evening with his teddy bear. Pulls off the curtain. There's a little prayer.
Your beautiful family standing by you tonight stood by you through all those months of pain and anguish, fear and insecurity. Barbara, pain, wondering whether you'll ever be able to walk again. Anguish, wondering if you'll ever feel like your old self again. Fear, wondering if you'll ever be able to perform again. Insecurity, wondering whether the audience will still be there for you. You draw on every last ounce of strength, determination, and faith in that little 5'2" frame of yours. And you come back bigger and better than ever. Folks, come on down around here. Barbara, you sometimes close your show by saying to the audience, I hope you'll always be as happy as you've made me tonight. Well, you've made us happy, I'll tell you that, not only tonight, but for many, many years. Your talent, your love, your inspiration, Barbara Mandrell, this is your life. Well, we've made 2 wonderful new friends tonight. We salute you both and add you to our This Is Your Life Hall of Fame. Ralph Edwards, good night and God bless.
Later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, Johnny welcomes actor Lane Smith, comedian Louis Anderson, and singer Jack Jones. Then on Late Night with David Letterman, Dave welcomes Carl Reiner, NBC sports commentator Dick Enberg, and comedian Drake Sather.
Hi, I'm Dave Letterman. Tonight's show is a repeat where all the jokes are pretty much the same as the ones Johnny Carson did on The Tonight Show. It's just a little trick I play on him from time to time.